Hi guys, welcome to the AIRFIX Supermarine Spitfire Mkvb build video. And the reason it's a build video is because when I did the unboxing of it on my channel, it put me in the mood to build it. So let's get cracking. So here's the instructions. We don't really need this bit until later. I've already written down the paints I need. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I've got this. Because I'm not one for building pilots, I very rarely do pilots. I'm not going to do the pilot. And anyway, there's a question mark, you don't have to. So what we need to do is go to step 2 and start building the cockpit. So we need to get the sprues and start cutting them. What we need to do is cut number 7, number 8 and number 9. So I've got my Tamiya cutters. Well, it says 7 on the back. Because to me, this is the front. But that's the back, okay. So bring out the camera so not too close. Number 8. Number 9. Well, it's not on that one. Do you know I didn't recognise number 9 because of the flash? It's weird cutting these little cockpit areas, and then you've got this massive wing and plane and fuselage, I'll say, with it. Number 6. So I found number 6, it was on a clear part. So I'll cut that. Put that with the rest of it. Oh, careful, don't fling it and lose it. What else? We'll cut number 4 and number 5 off, and that as well. Number 5. I'm sorry for that, I slammed my things down, my clippers down. Here's number 4. I found zoom in. Look at that, 1979 tooling mark. With number 4, where is this bit? The bit at the back, the bar at the back, where is it? It doesn't even indicate the number for it. So I'm looking on the sprue and I can't find it at all. No. Is it on the clear part, I wonder? No, it's not. I'll just move on without it, I guess. So we have these cut up. I'm going to clear the flash off. And then we have to, then I'm going to airbrush them. I might as well airbrush it with the fuselage, the plane itself. So I'll take these off too. What is that? That's just flash. Well, I hope it's flash. Now I do, now just snapped it off clean. So I'll put these away for now. We don't need these. We'll just get these, put them out of the way if they're ready for airbrushing. We have to clean these now. I've glued 4 and 5 together. I've cleaned off the excess flash with my X-Acto knife. This wasn't too bad. Didn't have much flash on it at all. Just had to use my X-Acto knife in the little square bits just to get the slight bit of flash off. This had a lot of flash. But what expect for 1979 tooling and boxed in 1994, so it's going to have flash. This did have a lot. This was absolutely barely had any, just a bit at the bottom, which I cut off with my X-Acto knife to also just a quick clean up job. What else? Oh yeah, this bit at the back here, which I thought, which was missing, actually found out at a closer look, closer inspection, it snapped off here. It snapped off clean to the point you wouldn't even know there was anything there in the first place if you just looked at a quick glance at the sprue without looking at the instructions. You wouldn't know if that was even gone. So with that being cleaned up, we need to then airbrush it with, I'm going to try it with this green for the cockpit. So let's head to the booth. So now it's had the main colour for the cockpit done. I also went ahead and put some plastic card on the bit that snapped off clean and went missing. It was just irritating without it, so I went and used some plastic card to see if I could make something of it. So then when it sits in, at least have that middle section. When it's the other side's put on, you still have that middle section back. So now what I need to do is basically paint in the touch up the details in the cockpit, make it look a little bit more kind to the eye. So what I'm going to do at first, I'm probably going to use some of this. Has no number, I'm sorry about that, just misprint. Give a paint pot, a bit of paint. Give this some paint. Starts to look really nice eventually. We'll see what this whole kit will look like when it's done. Very curious. We have the red brown on the seat. What we need to do now is paint the black parts of the cockpit. Basically stuff like this. And genuine stuff that needs to be painted black. For example here. So I'm going to use my usual MIG. Get it in camera. It's a little bit more watery than the Umbro, but that's not a bad thing. The only thing is you can overrun if you put too much on, which might possibly be what's happened here. Just get him away. I guess if I go over, like the way I've gone over here, I can go over in the green again. Just tidy it up a bit. Actually quite an annoying little spot. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to tidy it up. You see it's runny, you see how it's like not quite. I should have used a Umbro black for this bit here. Because I knew the way it was very watery. It was gonna run down and it did exactly what I said it was gonna do. And run off this bit down there. So I'm gonna let that dry a sec, move it out of the way. I've put green on, hang on. Yeah, you paint it green already when it's already green. There we go, we've got black now, we've got the right colour. See, this is a bit better, a bit more space to spread the brush. It's very watery. I'm going to wash the brush again and try and give it a good... See if I get the excess water off. So it should be a little bit better now. Let's try again. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Left a little bit too much water on the brush. It seems very watery at the moment. I'm going to give it another shake. Try again. It's looking a bit better. It's going to take multiple coats, I guess. Not one hit like I did with this seat. Like I said, I do like Umbro for that. Yeah, it's actually starting to spread a bit better. So basically we paint all the bits that need painting black. And then we move on from there. So now I've done all the black bits. We need to add a bit of silver to certain parts. This is the back here. It's a little bit here at the sides. This is going to be gunmetal. If you see there, I'll bring it closer. Number 53, gunmetal. So we have to do that. And like I said, just find anywhere that needs to be painted silver, like the levers and stuff like that. They need to be done silver. So all the black's done. So what I'm going to do is use my steel from MIG. Shake that again. It's only thing at MIG, you put it down for 5 seconds, it needs shaking again. The steel, look, this looks like gunmetal itself, but it's steel. This is gunmetal. Brush. Just give that a little. That's going to take another coat, but it's a start. Lovely. And then, what else needs silver? I saw some over here. Yeah, just paint that bit silver too. Sorry about that, hit you on the camera. It's not really much that needs to be silver. We probably need the gunmetal though. For the bit behind the chair. So we'll get some gunmetal like I just showed you. Always get that watery stuff out of the way first. There we go. It's the back. Yeah. You should build with me, get a build and put me on the background. Put me on in the background, get a build and start building. Painting, whatever. Try not to get my fingers all over it. It's no easy task. I see AIRFIX has got some new kits coming soon. AIRFIX always keep you busy. I'll be grabbing them up at some point. Just touch up where I've been. Oh, always takes multiple colours. Multiple coats, sorry. Just going around trying to sharpen it up a bit. put that down to dry. I could probably get away with, while you're here, I'll wash this brush first, and I'll go get a dry brush. And I'll do the thing that I find, this is my favourite. A bit of, I'm gonna put some aluminium. Just, it's so satisfying to me, I have no idea why. Some tissue. This is a bit, you can easily miss, so I'll put it on there. Bit here, sorry. Careful. That was too strong straight away. I can live with it though. Mistakes happen. Commit to it, why not? Let's commit to it. Quite like that look. Bit of a 3D, more of a 3D effect. Might have to go a bit black over here to correct where I really hit it hard, a bit too hard. And then once that's dried, I'll go back over it with silver. This time, dry brush it. So move that aside. Yeah, I'll have to just touch up that bit in the corner where I hit it too hard. That's drying. That just stays the same colour. What I could do actually, just give it a bit of dirt and grime. A quick way of doing it, I think. Use some panel line. I've cleaned up the black panel line with a cotton bud because it didn't look right. So yeah, use a cotton bud to clean that mess up. But these things happen. It was an experiment. It didn't quite work out. So we move on. No, not to do it again. But it looks okay anyway, so. I also cleaned up this bit where I went a bit too heavy with the dry brushing with the silver. Clean that up. I glued this in and I glued that in and this bit in. So I've started gluing it together. So where we are right now, that's together, that's together. We've got to put number 16 in at the back. Then hopefully we get to put the fuselage together. So that's the next plan. This feels perfectly dry. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I guess we come across here. I'll go with this first, I reckon. About there, yeah, because you can see the little link gap there, and it sits there. Right there, yeah. And I'm going to glue behind it because that's the stuff you won't see. And the seat will go. I've clearly left a mark there for you to put it in. And also a little ridge there. It's got that bit here. Yeah, like that. Doesn't look right at that angle there, like that. So we're going to glue them together. We've got 4, 2, and 16 in. Looks really nice actually. I'm surprised at how well it's going. That little bit of plastic card I put is sitting nicely. I did have to chop a little bit at the end because it was a little bit too big. Because I went to the next page to have a look, and it does want to touch. Right there, it wants to touch, not go under. So these are in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop number 10. Because I'm not going to put the propeller on. Because I want that separate for painting or airbrushing. And then once it's all done, I'll put that on the end. The only reason I put this in the back now is because I have no choice, because it has to go in and be sealed in, because there's no other way around it. So I'm going to cut number 10 on with decent clippers for this. Don't really need to clean it up because it's going to be hidden. Now I'm simply just going to glue it in and sit in the back there. I'm not bothered if it spins or not, to be honest with you. Yeah. Oh, get in there. So we'll let that dry. Then I think it's time to put the fuselage together. Because that's basically everything. It looks really nice. I'm quite happy with it. I mean, for 1994, well, designed in 1979, it's really nice. So I'll let that dry and then we'll start to glue together, I think. Now that's dry, I think it's ready to put together. I'll put a bit of glue on already. I'm going to line it up. And just I wasn't going to glue it together and not let you see me glue it together. Because it's satisfying. I'll find it satisfying, so you might find it satisfying to see. Fits really well. Yeah, it's nice. Sits nicely. What I might do, what I usually do anyway, I'll run down. To me, it's extra thin down there. Because this flash just give me the illusion that one side is higher than the other. So I'm good press. It's not quite in the middle, so I'm going to have to, when it's dry, I'm going to move that bar slightly to the right. Don't matter how messy you're going to get, really. Big push. No gap there. Gonna put glue down that. Right, yeah. So basically we're just going to wriggle it around and look for gaps and get the glue down there. So now we've given it time for the fuselage to dry up together nicely into one solid piece. You can see how that sits perfectly in the middle. I'm quite happy with that. The next part is to get the wings on, which you can clearly see I've already started making like moves on. I've already done the aluminium 56, and you can already, like I've just said, you can see the Umbro 78. I've already put the 26 in there. So the next plan is to put the top part of the wings onto the bottom part of the wings. So we'll start with that. Before we go ahead and put the top wings onto the bottom part, I did notice on the airbrush, which you can probably see is obvious, the grease marks stop the paint from sitting. So before I prime the plane when it's together, I'm going to give it a wipe down just to make sure that this doesn't happen on something on the outside that you'll be able to see. So we'll start by putting the top wings on to the bottom. Just put a bit of Revell glue in there first, just to have it comfortably sit, and then I'll go around the edges with some Tamiya, extra thin, to seal it up with the edges. But first I just want to get the glue, just have it sit there first. That's it, it's lovely. Surprised by that. Actually, I'll touch up a bit more glue. Learn my lesson next time. Wash the plastic, especially if it's a kit with a good set of years behind it. There's bits of flash there I'll have to clean up. So I'll put some extra thin down here, just to make sure it sits firmly in place together. And then we'll make a move on putting, the wings on. Wings are on. We've got to sand it a bit, just to tighten it up a little bit. And then I've also cut these off. And then we've got to go to page 6. And then we're going to go to the 92nd Squadron and cut 15, 13 and 48 for this, because I want it to look like the box. Oh, and 51. So let's crack on with the sanding. I've done some sanding. It won't need to be really sanded again until it's been primed, because when it's been primed it might expose more stuff that will need sanding, if that makes sense. Let's get on and put 15, 13 and 48, 51 in. So I'm going to start off with 48. Thank you. Sometimes you have to scratch it just to get that bit of dry glue off the end with the Revell tape glue. It seems to. I'm just making sure it's in properly. Yeah, that's in. That's sitting against the wings itself. Now we'll do 13. Just place it in. We'll do 51. This little bit here. I'll put this down for a sec so I can show you. So once I sit it in a square box there, it's not this one. It's right there. Because you can barely see the square box because it's not the best mold, but the age again. Right there, the little square. It's probably easier to put the glue on this. Actually, you know what I might do with this, because it's you don't want that thick splodgy glue, so I'm going to get extra thin. I'm going to place it in. That's in. Then we have 15. So we'll go back to Revell glue because I want that substance, that thick substance, just to stop it from, especially when you've only got one pair of hands. Should be fine. Oh, lovely. Oh, stay still. Bit of resin there. Give that about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Once it sits, once the Revell glue activates, give it about 2 or 3 minutes to grip hold of it. Then I'll run down it with some extra thin, just to make sure it will never leave where it's sitting. And then we'll come back after it's been primed and sand this seam here. But I do like the look of it. Anyway, I say it's got a big old chin. Oh, it's moving. Yeah, I better put it down and leave it a couple of minutes. And then, like I say, come back to it. With number 15, it fit, but there was like a minor gap here. This is going to have to be filled up with either plastic card or something a bit harder the Revell's putty, so some Tamiya putty for this gap here. Because it's flush here. It's just when I come across here, that was no matter, it's just the way it is. It's fine. I just have to fill it with something. So now they're on. So we're done here. I'm going to go back because I wanted to come forward for this reason, to see if this fit clean, and plus to establish we are 92nd Squadron. We go back a bit. We're going to go back a page because I'd like to mask it up, cut the canopy and then mask it up. And obviously we're going to pick this one because we're 92nd Squadron. So I'll get the clear parts out. I say clear lately because they are a bit scuffed, but here's what it is. They're not bad. So we'll cut them off. This is how I always prep for airbrushing. If you've witnessed my last build, Let's Build with the ME410, you know this is how I like to do it. Number 22. So we're going here. Got a spare if I ever need it. I'm going to leave 31 off too. Like as 29, 30 stay off until the end. Once I've masked it, I'm going to put number 24 on the top just to make it easier. So masking time. How I like to mask, I'm not going to show you all of it because it'll be too tedious for you, to be honest. I'm going to get a bit here. I'll lay it out like that. And I'll get my knife. It's going to be quite hard to show you. Let me zoom you in a bit, see if I can help. That's in. I would then make loads of little lines like this. Basically like squares. And I'll simply just come across. I've never used a ruler. I know you could do, but I don't. You're just making, and I'll give it a little flick like that with a knife. Then I'll get my Tamiya tweezers. And then we make a start. So I'll grab them. Try and get you in focus. No, that's too far. And I'll start with this one just for demonstrations. I'll simply just that corner. See, I told you it'd be tedious. Could you imagine recording the whole thing at this speed? See, like that. I just get my knife again. To lift it up as well, that helps. Oh, stomach. Before committing to it, I'll push it around, make sure I'm happy with the position it's in. And I'll press it down. Go for another one. You do need a keen eye and a steady hand and patience for this part, for sure. to be honest, I don't mind. It's hard, my hand is trying to focus. I've just realised that but you get the gist of what I'm doing. And then we just do that all around the canopy. So all masked up. I've glued the canopy on. What we need to do is we need to deal with this gap and have an idea. I might either put, like I said, Tamiya putty, or I might get some plastic card, and I don't know if this is going to work or not. Kind of cheese grate the plastic card so it turns into like just bits of plastic, like sawdust sort of thing. And then I'm going to get my tweezers, I'm going to wedge it in, all in here, and then use some extra thin to melt that plastic card, and then maybe go over it and then sand over it to smooth it out. And that should, I'm hoping, I've never tried that, it's just an idea. Clean it up, clean that gap up, get rid of it. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm doing is I cut a bit of plastic card like that, and I'm scraping it. I can't quite show you, but you can see here. See down the bottom here? I'm scraping, this just like bits of dust, stuff like that. So I'm scratching it. And then I'm trying to pack it in that gap using a knife, tweezers, any way I can, just to get it in there. And then the hope, fingers crossed, it will get melted in and that will fill the gap up. That's the hope. So I'm simply just like, the problem is because it's so light, it will stick to the thing, it will stick to the tweezers. So I have to get my knife coming like this, can't just persuade it as best I can to move in to the gap. So let's see if I can find any more, because I really don't want to, I don't need to hear me scraping. I don't think it's very pleasant, me scraping plastic on camera. So I'm hoping I can use what I've got here and tuck it in. I have no idea if this is going to work, like I've repeated before, I just don't know. Got a bit here, it's a nice one. It'll come here. You get the gist of where I'm going with it. The attempt to block the plastic gap. See, I might need to do thicker and then go in. We'll try from there. Right, satisfied there's enough plastic shredding in there to maybe work, so I'm going to get my glue. I'm going to just drown it. Hit it hard. Might work, might be working, lads. Ooh, might be a bit too thin, but I could probably get some more in there. Doesn't even matter, we can build it up. It has potential. Well, it has potential. I might have just learned a new technique for myself. Somebody's already probably done it, but I've never done it and I didn't know. It's just an idea and it's like, might have worked, lads. Right, let that harden. With the gaps sorted for now, I think we should go ahead and put number 56 onto 24. Just because it's so small, the odds of losing it is very high. And then once that's on, we should clip these off, step 10 and step 11, to get them prepped with the rest of the plane for primer coat. Just so I don't overglue it. Micro brush. Tap a bit of glue on. Tweezers. How do I want to do this? Doesn't need much. Oh, that maybe you can, that may fall out at some point. Have to be really careful of that. It might. I hope it's just a good idea to put it in. Because, yeah, like when you're moving it around, airbrushing and then making the markings for it when it comes time to put the colour in. Ugh. We'll see. $10 and $11. $38. And clippers. I can't even get the tweezers in that. Oh no, I mean, put it on a piece of paper, it'd be easier to see where I placed it. 34. What else do I want? 39. Perfect. The layout on the sprues is unique. 37 and 36. Just a straight clipping. Don't roll too far. That's everything for that part. Put these away. That squeaky drawer is doing my nutting. We clean the seams up once they're dry. And then those will get these. Will get sprayed with the plane. So they'll go over there with you. Put the lid on the glue. So let's let them dry. So the wheels are nice and dry. They're going to need a bit more sanding later, but they're together for now. I'm going to put them in a container with the rest of it. And I've also got the plane itself here ready to get a prime coat, and then we'll go from there. It's been primed. As you can see, I've been sanding just to clean it up, make sure there's absolutely... So I'm trying to hide the seams as best as I can. Next thing I've got to do is do the bottom, a blue. It's called a UK Azure, but I don't exactly have that blue. So I'm going to use this blue because it's just a light blue underneath. And then 94 yellow brown. So here, across these bits. And then dark earth on these, the pattern. So let's start off with the bottom and the light blue. With the blue paint underneath, I touched it up with some silver in the wheel wells. Unfortunately, hit the back wheel with the paint, but that's like a 5-minute job of black and silver, so it's no biggie at all. The next thing is, or the next time you see it, I'm going to have the full camo on of 94 and 29. And it will really start to take shape then. But I'm having a lot of fun. It's not a perfect build for me, but I've done my best and I'm happy with it. So let's get on with it. Camo is on. I also glued on the rear elevators. I glue and painted 10 and 11. And now we need to cut and glue 53, 52, 19, 20, and 31. So I'm going to get the sprues, get some clippers. Move you out of the way. Where's the third one? Also 19 and 20. It's also on this sprue. and 31. I think that's everything, yeah, for now. So let's get these cleaned up and painted. We've got all those little bits painted up here. Oh, so it's paper still, so it doesn't scratch the bottom. I forgot to mention, this tyre colour is Tyre Black by Vallejo. Different bottle. I've never seen this bottle before. It looks different. Obviously that's aluminium. For the exhaust is a different shade. I used dark aluminium. And obviously I used the standard main colours from the plane, the light blue and yellow brown, and you get what I mean. What else is there? That's pretty much it. What we're going to do now is now go to the propeller and cut that off, and then once they're cut off, clean them up. Then the yellow for the tips. What I often do is I'll airbrush them basically near enough yellow at the top, at halfway mark yellow. Then I'll tape it off at the tips, and then I'll go over it in a black and then pull the tips of the tape off, and it leaves a perfect mark for the yellow tips. This is red, so we're going to obviously keep these separate. And then once it's all been painted, we'll put it together. So you can see I'm now gluing it in. They're all painted up. I went a bit heavy on the glue, as you can see, but luckily it's in place. It's in a place you won't be able to see it. So put that down carefully. Press them down. While that's drying, we should go ahead and put these in now, because all the bits have been painted. That's enough gap, I can get that in. Amazing that when you go to put it in, the glue doesn't come out. It's come out. Trying to get overspilt. They stand out a lot further than I thought they would. Maybe safer. To glue it directly on here instead of on the plane. Let's get that in. Look at that, it's really starting to, it looks mean, doesn't it? Just admiring it. Now, let's get 53 in and 52 in. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change my glue. Be easy to apply it. And with a tube, I'll apply it with a Tamiya glue. It is over there. I was wondering where it was. It moved. See, I can use this brush to apply it. I'll control then. Because with the tube, sometimes it can come out too quick and then it's just everywhere. Lovely. Get in. Problem is, this glue dries slower, but I prefer the way it applicates. Right, now I need to, this bit, we need to put the wheels on. Very simple, just like that. It should go in like that, yeah. I'll go back to Revell. I can't make my mind up. I'll go back to Revell for this, just because I want it to dry quick. And of course this falls off. So I've re-glued that. Let's have a second attempt at getting them on. Right. Ooh, come out. Perfect. Let me do the other side. The other one. Just put, I want enough glue on there. I get paranoid that it's not going to be enough glue. Oh, sorry. Just want them to sit right, that's why I'm adjusting them now before they dry. Without breaking anything. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Really starting to look nice. So what I'm going to do is, I've got these paint pots, my Tamiya paint pots. I'm going to hang that upside down. I don't even need to do that actually, I can literally have it upright. As long as it's not touching. So give that time to dry. Now these are firmly in place, let's go ahead and put this on. There we go. Lovely. For its age, it's such a nice kit. Yeah, I'm going in for it. The propeller's on. I also want to put that on. The kit has really impressed me. It's had no fitting problems. I mean, it had a minor gap under there, but that's no biggie. It was really nothing. For its age, it's fantastic. These will be dry now. So I'm going to trust it and put it down. I know you can only see my hand right now, but I'm just easing it down. So next thing we've got to do is gloss varnish it to protect the paint job, and also get it ready for its decals. But yes, look at it. I'm happy with it. I'm chuffed. I didn't expect a kit of this age to impress me, but it really has. I'm definitely going to do some more vintage kits on the channel for sure. So I've had just, yeah. All right, enough admiring it. I better get varnishing it. So fast forward 24 hours. As you can see, it's got a nice shine to it. When I was giving it its gloss coat in the booth, for some reason the back snapped off. It's back on gluing, but after that I've decided I don't want it on its own wheels for now. I want it so there's no pressure when I'm laying decals down. What I'm going to do is use a decal from a scheme I'm not using, because I don't know if as soon as it hits water it could literally fragment. Because ideally I don't really want to have to use, I'd like to use them as they are, straight off the decal sheet into water, a little bit of decal fix when it's on the plane, and then move on to the next decal, you know. Let's get my knife. I think we're safe. What should we use as a tester? I mean, if we use this, at the worst, I can find a similar colour in paint. And no, I'm not using it, no. I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to throw it in the water. We'll see how it reacts. Just wait a couple seconds. Let's get tweezers while I'm waiting. See if zooming in gives you a better view. Not great, but you get a closer look. There's movement, there's a little bit of movement. It might take a bit since I've been sat there for so long. They seem to be behaving just fine. No, they're not falling apart. Obviously this one is a sacrifice decal, so I'm not doing anything with it. This is for a scheme I'm not using. Yeah, that seems absolutely fine. Look at that. Yeah, these decals are good to use. So I'm going to dispose of this and we'll start with a decaling. So I'm going to put 21. On the wing. Right there, that's a spot. So I'm going to dip it in water. So obviously you already know this, but it's going to sit there. Just give that a couple of seconds. I'm going to use AIRFIX. I do like to drown. It doesn't matter really. Good water coverage here. And I also have, I like a damp piece of kitchen roll. So I can apply pressure. And it obviously sits damp for that reason, so it doesn't stick and come back with me. That's the plan. Come up a tad. A bit more water because it's already. So you never be shy of water. Just pick it up like that. Thank you. A little bit forward like that. Could that come a bit more forward? No. Because it doesn't want it on this. So it's quite close up to the front. So it's about as happy as you. That's, I'm happy with that. I'm using the panel lines of the plane for the correct positioning. I'm happy with that. Double checking. give it a press down. Sorry, I was just making sure I was in the right place. I've got to get a plane stand. This is not, I hate this. See, it won't come back with me. Make sure there's no air bubbles underneath. Just add some more water to that kitchen roll. Some decal fix. With the decals on, we had a slight error. You see these marks here on the decal? I don't know what happened. When I put decal fix on it, everything seemed fine. When it dried, these appeared. I don't know what they are, and I've tried warm soapy water in a cotton bud. I can't get them off, can't clean it. What I did also notice with decal fix, it pulled the red out of these decals at the front. So with that, I'm going to buy a decal sheet with British markings and replace them. And once they're replaced, I'm going to take a picture and put the picture on the community page with the model cleaned up without this error. But the model itself this model has been great, fantastic. This is going to be the beginning of a vintage series for me. So you're going to see more vintage kits being built as well as current modern kits. But with the vintage kits, they're going to be videos. They're going to be done in one video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a spin of the model. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.